In the lands of the north, where the black rocks stand guard against the cold sea in the dark night that is very long, the men of the Northland sit by their great log fires and they tell a tale. Let's very quickly run through setup then, and then we can demo the game to see how this thing works solo. We start by placing the season marker here on spring, on the roundel, and the runestone marker here on the Nog moon. Next, we're going to limit the number of resources there are according to player count. More players in the game, the more resources there are. We have crops, wood, stone, and fish. In the regular game, these are represented by cubes. In the deluxe version of the game, we have some custom wooden tokens. Stone is still stone, so we've still got a wooden cube. In the solo game, we have 8 crops, 22 wood, 20 stone, that's all the stone, and 16 fish. That's actually one more than in the 2-player game. There's also some gold cubes. There's gold in them there hills. We can find those in the mines. The characters start here in Noggin's castle. We've got a whole bunch of meeples. Will be red. Dummy will be yellow, white and blue. We put them at the top on the first spot on this step track. See the footprints above the Nog moon. The soloist goes first, like so. Next we need all the buildings that we can build. These are year 1 buildings because they have a 1 on the back. Give them a shuffle and create 2 rows of 2. We also have a stack of year 2 buildings, more advanced buildings, all different. Okay, we're going to shuffle these up and set those aside. Once we get into our second year, we're going to see these second year buildings. We've also got 3 different types of transport that can be built each turn. There's 1 for each player in the game actually, so we're going to need 1 of each type of transport. Fishing boat, wood wagon and mining cart. And these are going to be available for us to build during the game. We've also got a couple of crow markers. We've got one that's going to track Nogbad's progress towards the crown, and a second called the Infamy Crow. This little wheel here is Nogbad's infamy. Nogbad is going to come and sabotage stuff, and at the start of the game, the Infamy Crow starts on sabotaging the fishing nets. It's going to try and stop us fishing. Noggin's progress along this track is recorded using this dragon, and you place it depending on the number of players in the game. Playing solo, we place it here on the 2-player start point. As for our resources, well, the wood's going to go over here in the forest area. The 2 that are left behind are going to be our starting resources. The fish go here in the fjord. We place 4 wheat over here in the market. This is the Nog market. We're actually going to start with 4 of these crops. And the market also starts with 8 stone. I'll show you what we do with the rest in a moment. This spot down here is where the woodcutter starts. This is going to be a little worker marker. We can move him around as the game goes on to collect wood. And we also have a miner. He starts up here. Now fishing's good fun. When we go fishing, the number of fish we collect is a little bit random. It's determined by these tokens here. You might collect 1 fish, you might collect 2 fish, or you might just get lumber with an old boot. So these tokens go in this drawstring bag. We've nearly finished setting up the board. Players do have score markers. We're red player, remember. So I'm going to start here on 0. And now we'll start setting up some of these cards. Now for the solo game, these sagas, we're going to remove the 5 and 6. Now in the multiplayer game, you can kind of dictate the pace of the game yourselves a little bit, when it finishes and when it doesn't. We're going to take out the 5 and 6 point sagas from the solo game. If they came up, it just throws the balance off a little bit. You don't want to see those really in a solo game, so we'll take them out. The rest we're going to shuffle together. Let's place them up here. Inventions, we'll give those a shuffle. And at the start of the game, we'll draw 2 inventions. We've drawn the weather balloon and the cupola clock. You can see inventions also have character and resource requirements on them. Same for the counting house cards. This time we'll just draw 1. And we've got the moonstone. Counting house cards are not, they don't have resource and character requirements. Instead, in a multiplayer game, there's this auction mechanism. And what's interesting about the auction mechanism, you're bidding with time, you're bidding with steps on the step track, right? Further down you are, or further in front you are, then the more steps you spend, the longer you have to wait till it's your turn again. Because the turn is always with the person at the back of this track. If you bid a lot, other people are going to be taking lots of actions before you get a turn again. Right? So an interesting, really interesting mechanism for using a currency. Time is a currency, actions are a currency in this game. Really sweet. In terms of sagas, there's 2 sagas available to us. Remember, this is how we progress up this track towards the crown and close the game out. We've got the elephant and the dragon hunt. Now, we're not going to need score markers for dummy player, not on the score track anyway. Instead, we're going to link each one of those dummy players with one of those 3 supply decks. Player number 1 is going to be white, then yellow, then blue, in that order, right? So white is associated with the A deck, yellow with the B deck, and blue with the C deck. What it means is, right, player here, we're red, we go first, and when it's the white player's turn, they're going to draw a card from the white supply deck, yellow from the yellow supply deck, and blue from the blue supply deck. And these supply cards dictate what actions that dummy player will take. It drives the AI. So I have 3 different dummy players, all with different styles of play, because the makeup of these decks is slightly different. But these supply cards also act as the supply cards for our sagas. So, to start the game, we've got 2 sagas out. We're going to draw from the bottom 1 card for Saga A. It's Olaf and Thornogson. This is here at the harbour side. And the second one for the Dragon Hunt. It's Olaf and Noggin. First one's always from the A deck. Now you can see Elephant needs 3. It's got 3. It's got 3 resource supplies requirements. We've got to complete 3 of these. So once we've completed this one, we bring Olaf here and Thornogson here. We complete this one. Then we need to put 2 more, all right? We need to complete 2 more. So the next supply card that gets placed after this is completed is either from the B deck or the C deck. Player's choice. We've got 1 more set of tiles to place on the board, 1 more set of resources, and that's the mining stuff, the mining tiles. These are the mining tiles. You've got 6 of them. 1 of them doesn't have gold on it. There it is. This one goes up here like this. Now, remember, we got a whole bunch of resources left. We've got 5 gold cubes. Okay, these go up here by these tiles, spare for when they come out. We could mine some gold. And then we've got these 12 stone cubes. There's lots of little mechanisms in this game. What we're going to see is this miner can travel down these paths collecting stone. Right? And that's how this work is going to be used. And we can also bring out new tiles and expand the mine, potentially find that gold. Finally, there's another set of resources, and this is the money, right? If we complete the money saga, then this money comes into play. These are the deluxe upgraded metal noggins. We'll put those to the one side. We may or may not need them in your game. Okay. The regular money counters look like this, just wooden tokens like the rest, and they've got a crown on one side and a dagger on the other. Okay, so when you're stickering them up, put a crown on one side, dagger on the other. There's 2 types of stickers. The board's set up, cards are set up. Next thing is player boards. So the game plays 1 to 4, so we're going to need 1 of these player boards. On the player boards are our workers, our nogs. We start the game with 10 of these nogs. Okay, and we place them here on this little mountain spot. You'll have 6 spare for each player. Just keep them to one side, right? Because there are ways to bring in extra nogs. Remember, we had our starting resources as well. We had 2 wood and 4 crop. Our crops start up here in these ploughman spaces of these 2 fields. Different seasons we'll be able to plant or harvest our crops. And then down here we have an orchard, right? And there's 2 spaces for chopping down trees and gathering wood. This here is our farmhouse. We can keep resources here. Here in the mountains we can build a longhouse. In these fields we can build buildings. We can't build where there's crops. We can build here if we chop down the trees, or we can harvest the apples in autumn. This pasture here is just a spare spot to be built on, and then over here are the transports, the 3 different means of transporting materials. We've got a mine cart for transporting stone and gold from the mine, a wood cart for transporting wood from the forest, and then fishing boats to transport fish from the fjord. Right, you ready to start playing some Noggin the Nog? Let's go with the first 10 of the game.